investigation to the murders of Alex and Renee. How can you even start to have a conversation about drawdown when we know exactly what is happening right now? That it's nothing about the actual brutality of ICE, but other than the fact that the political winds have shifted and Americans are now standing up for their neighbors versus standing up for us. This is a shame moment, and that is why we are begging Minnesotans to continue to stand up for your neighbors. This is not the moment to turn around and shoot. This is a moment to double down and call for justice. This is a moment to tell Governor Walz, to tell the leadership of this state, Minnesota is leading, stand with us, do not retreat. And finally, I want to say this very clearly tonight. There will be a lot of pieces to be picking up after this moment. But the one thing we should all hold our head up high is we stood the test. We took weeks and weeks of attacks against our community. But I am begging you, for the first time in this country, we have an opportunity to fix the immigration system that is inhumane, that has taken advantage of the weakest and sometimes the hardest working people in this country. We know the work that immigrants are facing, and this type of chasing immigrants around and making them feel that somehow they're not Americans. And we know the majority of people in this country, outside of the Native Americans and the forced enslavement of African Americans, everyone else came here through an immigration reform. And it is time for Americans to say we demand immigration reform. That should be what comes out of this incredibly painful moment in our nation's history, and particularly in this. And that is what should be on our minds as we fight in this moment to protect our neighbors. ICE is still around. ICE is still picking people up. There's an incident that took place in St. Paul. We'll learn more details about it. So there's still a lot going on. We need everybody to stay guard. We need everybody to stay focused. And we tell the politicians, listen to the people. Because you were elected by the people. And the Minnesota people stand up for their neighbors.
This this was just about like collaboration.
Okay, so they emphasize collaboration.
Basically, ordered us stuck on the highway. So we weren't taken into custody, but we were charged were arrested. In a lot of ways. Number one, I found out that the FBI was conducting they actually not only came to the hotel multiple times, they surrounded the hotel. They also stayed in a room across the hall from my room. And they physically assaulted one of my friends because they thought that she was additionally, it was very strange and disturbing to me that a federal agent when I questioned him about it, he claimed that someone higher up had asked him to record me and that it wasn't going to end up on Twitter or anything.
I think it's like
I haven't seen that.
And of course,
thing I know, like
none of that was true because apparently my arrest photo was put on the internet by either Amazon or
Oh, he's coming in.
and then the White House documented to portray me as I have heritage struggle, my skin darkness, and me crying, these tears that I never cried. And so seeing the White House engaged, absolutely not. That's helpful. To see the White House, right, supposed to be the world's greatest house, acting like a cheap tabloid, and showing that this is a political crisis. It has nothing to do with the rule of law. It has nothing to do with interrupting the church service to challenge the power of ICE and to raise concerns about a pastor at City's Church being the director of ICE. So that it's all about silencing dissent and punishing people who speak out against the Trump administration.
That's hypothetical, but it's not
Yeah, I've been in attorney for over 2 decades. I was a law professor for 14 years, and I have been actively involved in my community for a number of years, helping to lead and organize nonviolent peaceful protests during times in which the government has murdered people, state-sanctioned violence, where they violated our constitutional rights. And so that is a part of my history. And when I look at what's happening with the federal
wake up to like
it is
whistles.
disheartening.
And they're still
It is horrifying as well, to see them blatantly lie to the public, and to see them manipulating the public, to see them manipulating images using artificial intelligence.